In this episode of Filmstock Reviews, I'm reviewing episode 4 of the Santa Clauses titled The Shoes Off the Bed Clause. Now, with only 6 episodes this season, we are at the halfway point because this episode gets right into it. After the events of what happened with the first 3 episodes, Scott Calvin and his family now are trying to get accustomed to living a normal life in Chicago after Scott retired as Santa Claus. Now, his family is getting used to things with everyday new life. His wife, Carol, is going to be the head of a new charter school, and she's still popular after all these years. And she's going to be the principal of this new charter school. And then Cal is fitting in with this new girl he bumped into registering for high school. And Sandra is still kind of fitting in while she puts animals in her coat. She still kind of talks to animals, but she doesn't realize her powers yet. She tries to do certain things and fit in as well. She saves a horse that is on the loose, and she becomes part of a horse riding group. While Tim Allen's character Scott's just sitting there like, okay, everybody else is doing their thing. I had my fun. I can do what I want. Now back at the North Pole, Cal Penn's character Simon is getting into this whole Santa Claus thing. He wakes up. He has to put a jacket on to become Santa Claus, and the jacket is missing. But then he goes into this whole like, we can do better, we can do this. He's playing that product developer, entrepreneur, Jeff Bezos type really well. And you really, really find out that he is the villain in this show, front and center, by all means. I mean, even though his daughter, Grace, kind of brings him down a notch a little bit, Simon is just mesmerized by what he can do with delivering a system because he couldn't be able to do it in the real life, in the real world. Why not do it in the North Pole? So he comes up with this idea for CED, Christmas every day. Instead of Christmas once a year, it's 365 days a year. We can get people their presents when they come up with a list and they can have it already. But then the Christmas spirit starts slowly dying a little bit. And, the elves start disappearing, the elves stop working, everything. And it shows, and it really, really shows. But Simon is so infatuated with what he wants to do in his technology, of how he can get things out there faster. He starts, taking over in certain ways that are not suitable for what the elves or the North Pole is about. So basically, kind of in a way, Betty, Santa's chief of staff and Noel's wife, goes to Befania, the Italian folklore witch who lives in the Wobbly Woods, who we're introduced to and who's played by Laura San Giacomo. And we find out that the Santa jacket, is at this house. And Betty's like, you took it? And Befania's like, no, I didn't. It came here on its own. So the jacket knows something. And if you don't have the jacket on, here's the thing. Are you really technically Santa Claus? So Simon, I don't think, is Santa Claus just yet because he doesn't have the jacket on. So Betty tells Befania that I need to see him. He's like, oh, she's like, oh, Scott. He's like, no, him. So we don't know who the him is. So while Tim Allen is back and brings the family together to decorate the Christmas tree, they pause and then someone touches his shoulder. And that's the end of the episode. This series is really, really good. It's a different take on what you would think the Santa Claus movie is. I mean, for a first season, it's 6 episodes. It's really going to be quick. So they have to get a lot of story going in a short amount of time. Now, we do know that David Krumholtz as Bernard does come in. And now, is it Bernard that Betty needs, and what happens? Now, also, a subscriber of mine on my YouTube channel who watches my reviews and who commented on one of the Santa Claus review videos stated that Bernard could be the front runner and the next Santa Claus. I didn't think of that. I mean, that slipped my mind. It didn't even, come to my mind. But that's a really, really great idea. So thank you for that. And I'm curious to see if it's going to be Bernard or Charlie or Cal, or does he actually come back as Santa Claus? And that's the story. A lot of things still to go in this, and I'm curious to see if it's going to get a second season or a fourth movie that ties everything together and closes everything out. Not only that, the interesting, contradicting thing about this episode is that Scott Calvin now starts working, and he works for Everything Now, the company that Simon is the CEO of by delivering packages. And Noel kind of escaped the North Pole to get to Scott to tell him what's going on, and Noel kind of joins him on his day, and it's a really fun, interesting little scene that happens between the two of them. I love the show. I mean, their critics are panning this. A lot of fans don't like it. They don't think it's, that Santa Claus feeling to it. But listen, hey, it is what it is. It's a great show. If you don't like it, don't watch it. If you love it, then watch it. I mean, it's 6 episodes, quick, simple. It's close to 30 to 35 minutes. It's not that long at all. And it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen next. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about episode 4 of the Santa Claus, titled The Shoes Off the Bed Clause. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? What do you think is going to happen next? And do you think that one of these characters will become the new Santa, or will Scott Kaplan take over that mantle? Let me know in the comment section below about all the questions I just asked. And I'll see you all in the next review video. And be sure you tune in next week for my episode 5 review of The Santa Clauses.